Hi, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm gonna talk about how reading changed my life. So reading is one habit that had really huge impact on me, and I'm really pleased that I started reading, that I really fell in love with reading, and you can watch that in this video, that process, how I fell in love with reading, and that's the one thing I really enjoy doing every single day. And I'm gonna list out three top benefits, three biggest benefits I got from reading regularly. So first benefit, of course, is vocabulary for me. So when I first started reading, I didn't have that big vocabulary as I have right now, and that's not something that happened overnight. I really realized this after like maybe half a year of reading, that I'm starting to use some phrases, some words that I'm finding in the books I'm reading. And when, for example, I remember one day I was just talking normally to one of my friends, and I would use one word, and then in myself I would stop for a moment and I would realize, like, wow, I didn't use this word previously before, and that's the word from that book, you remember. And then that's how my vocabulary was improving gradually. So with every book you read more and more words, and you see words in different formats and different phases, different stages, and you can transform the words and use them in so many different and other aspects and scenarios. The more you read, the more you're gonna be able to put words in different sentences, and you're gonna be able to structure those sentences differently, and it's gonna sound really good, and you're gonna sound really eloquent, and that people will realize that you maybe read regularly. Other than vocabulary, one really a huge benefit of reading for me that really changed my life in a huge way is ideas and creativity. So that's actually one thing, but I will explain now what I mean by creativity. So why we are not just born with creativity, but why we have actually ability to develop creativity. Because as Austin Kleon says in his book Still Like an Artist, creativity is just ability to connect so many other pieces of information into one new artwork of yours. So I just paraphrased that, it's not exactly like that, but that's the point. The more information you have, the more dots you have, the more creative you're gonna be. Because if you have, like, imagine that like a base, like a pot with those dots, with those information, with knowledge you have. And if you have 10 pieces in here, you're gonna be only that much creative. So you don't have any other information that you can use to put into your projects. So if you're working on whatever, you have only those 10 pieces and you're putting them into that work. But if you have 100 or 1,000 pieces, you're gonna be much more creative, because you're gonna have much more database. Simply said, you're gonna be having much more information in those dots that you can use in your actually projects, and you're gonna be much more creative, because you're simply gonna have much more information that you can use to put into some of your work. And also with that creativity, with those ideas that you have, you're borning new ideas. Because when you're creative, you're borning new ideas, or when you create new idea, you are actually being creative. So the more information you have, the more you read, the more ideas you're gonna get, and you're gonna be more creative, and everything you create on your own, it's gonna be way much better because you have that touch of so many information that you have read in your books. And last, maybe the most important benefit of reading for me, so the benefit that changed my life really in a huge way, combined with the previous two, is definitely focus. Because focus is something that we all need, especially in these days, because every single social media platform is fighting for our focus and our attention. And if you can really be owner of your focus, and if you can be really that lord of your focus, that you put your focus where you want to put it and where you know you should be putting it, then you're gonna be able to achieve any goal you want. Because if you know you have to do something, or you know you want to do something, but you simply can't force yourself to focus on that project, on that task, your focus is just everywhere, then it's gonna be really difficult to achieve that focus. But with reading, I actually realized that for reading as well you need to focus, and you can't read and do something or think about something else, or be watching something or listening to something. You just have to read. You have to completely focus on reading. And when you practice reading, you are practicing getting into that flow state, getting into focus mode. And you will find yourself so many times just reading and reading, and you don't know how much time are you reading so far, but you're just reading and you're fully focused. And when you practice that muscle of focus on reading, it's gonna be way much easier to focus on some other task, on some other project, when you do whatever, because you just sit down, go through that hard beginning, and then you're into that focus mode, and you are actually into that practice already, because you're practicing that with reading. I found it out for myself after a year or two of reading, that when I really read regularly, I'm just getting into that focus mode really faster. And after, for example, if I read in the morning, I get into that focus mode, and then I get to do something, I'm really easily putting myself into that focus mode, and I'm just doing what is necessary to be done. So those are three biggest benefits of reading for me, and that's how reading changed my life, and it's still changing my life, and it could be changing your life if you start reading today, if you're not reading already. And of course, if you are reading, write down which benefits you are seeing. So remember, vocabulary, ideas and creativity and focus are three main, for me, benefits of reading, and you can see them for yourself if you start reading today. And if you want to do that, definitely check out this video here, where I'm showing you how to fall in love with reading and how to start reading. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember, vocabulary,